back to the second session of today's class. So we'll be discussing about radio resource management and mobility management, which is module 5 content. Okay. So you are aware of this LTE radio protocol stack, what I feel. Right? So usually in LTE radio protocol, we have two planes. One is a control plane and another one is user plane. Okay. As far as understanding about this radio protocol stacks, we classify this into user plane and the control plane. So in the control plane, and means we have RRC, that is a radio resource connection, that comes under a control plane. Okay. So radio bearers means here bearer is nothing but EPS system. Okay, EPS means Evolved Packet correct, EPC, Evolved Packet System, and radio bearer means is the interface between user equipment and the ENB, that we call as a radio bearer. And PDCP is the what? Packet Data Convergence Protocol. Okay, this is the protocol used. Means it can means this PDCP will have both either control plane and as well as the user plane. Okay. The next layer is the radio link control RLC protocol. So I think we have discussed enough about the logical channels. Then MAC layer, right? Medium access control. So then see the channels which exist between RLC and MAC is the logical channels. From MAC to physical layer is known as transport channels, right? So the physical layer. Fine. So this RRC, since we divide the entire this protocol structure into three layers, L1, L2, L3. So L3 is the RRC, right? Then this is about L2. L2 layer is this PDCP, RLC will come into there, right? Then MAC layer. Okay, L1, L2, L3. From MAC to PDCP is L2, then this RRC. So physical layer is about L1, right? So this is the general LTE radio protocol stack. You are supposed to be aware of this, right? So let me start with PDCP, right? So what is PDCP? As I said, it is a Packet Data Convergence Protocol, right? Already I said this entity, okay, is associated either with the control plane or with the user plane. Okay? Then each radio bearer is associated with one PDCP entity, right? Radio bearer, as I said, that is the interface means between each layer, right? That is a service. So each PDCP entity is associated with one or two RLC entities. Okay. Each PDCP, as I said, is a Packet Data Convergence Protocol, is associated with what? One or two RLC entities. I think the diagram what I have shown in the beginning, right? That depends on what? Radio bearer characteristic, means whether it is unidirectional or bidirectional. And also it depends on the RLC mode. Okay, that is a radio link control mode. So let us see what are the different types of RLC modes and other things. Okay, so to say about PDCP, I said this PDCP entity is associated with the control plane or the user plane, depending on which radio bearer it is carrying the data, right? And each radio bearer will be associated with one PDCP entity, right? I said that each PDCP entity is associated with one or two RLC entities. That depends on what? Radio bearer characteristic, whether it is unidirectional or bidirectional. And also it depends on the RLC mode, radio link control mode. Right? So PDCP is used only for the radio bearers mapped on these two channels. DCCH means dedicated control channel, and the dedicated traffic channel, dedicated or downlink also you can say. Dedicated traffic channel types of logical channels. Okay. Let us see what are the PDCP functions for the user plane and as well as the control plane. As I said, PDCP is associated with control plane and as well as the user plane, depending on which the radio bearer carries the data, right? Okay. So this is about control plane. So it has first a sequence numbering, then a header compression, okay, that then ciphering, right? Then it will add the PDCP header to that video data. Similarly, for user plane also, I have same thing, sequence numbering. Here there is a integrity protection, okay, then ciphering, and again it will be PDCP header is added here, right? Yeah. So this is about the user plane, and this one is about the control plane. So PDCP SAP, okay, Service Architecture Protocol Descriptor. Packet Data Convergence Protocol means that user plane data undergoes these things: sequence numbering for the packet, then we do the compression, then do ciphering for security purpose. Then the PDCP header will be added. Okay? This is for the control plane. Okay, so is it okay about each plane? What the user plane data undergoes the different operations. Let us take each one in detail. Means what are the header compression techniques, ciphering, and other things. So this picture gives still more broadened understanding about that process. So as I said, this is the transmitting side and this is the receiving side. If I want to divide it. So first step is what? The sequencing numbering means for that will be there for both user plane and as well as control plane, right? So for user plane, it undergoes header compression. For control plane, the integrity protection. So I clubbed in the previous made one. Then both undergoes ciphering. Then for this user plane, there will be a data field, right, along with the PDCP header. Then it goes to the lower layer, that is RLC, right? So this is the transmitting side. And receiving side, so from RLC to this PDCP header data field, the reverse process, right? Then deciphering. So after deciphering, it will be separated control plane and user plane. So user plane undergoes header compression, then reordering of the sequence, right? Then here integrity protection. Okay. So this is all about the PDCP layer operation for the packets associated with the PDCP SDU, means Packet Data Convergence Protocol Service Data Unit, SDU. Okay. Here two things are there. One is SDU and another is PDU. SDU is Service Data Unit, that is from higher layer to the lower layer. Okay. PDU is a packet protocol data unit, that is providing a service to the below layers. Okay, let us just have what is this user plane, right? So the moment I say user plane, what should come to your mind? First step is the sequence numbering, right? I hope, yeah, sequence numbering, then header compression, ciphering, and the PDCP header will be added, right? So I took this for both transmitting and receiving in the next diagram I have shown. This is what I have shown in this, right? Both transmitting and receiving. What are the different steps involved in this? So let us first take the user plane, right? So after sequence numbering, right, we do the compression, header compression. So compression will be done in the transmitting side and decompression will be done in the receiver side, right? So either this compression and decompression of the IP data flow with this protocol, that is a robust header compression protocol. So this is the type of protocol used for compression and a decompression of the user plane data in this LTE. Okay. After compression, it undergoes ciphering and deciphering of the user plane data. So ciphering will be done in the transmitting side and deciphering will be done in the receiver side. I hope is it clear what I'm saying? I think after showing this diagram, I think with this the picture may be clear, right? Transmitting side and receiving side. Here ciphering, right? Compression, and here deciphering and decompression and other things, right? Yeah. So two things I said. Then the third thing is okay, sequence delivery, right? In sequence delivery. This is the user plane, right? In sequence delivery and reordering of the upper layer PDUs at the handover. Okay. Then even there will be buffering and forwarding of the upper layer PDUs from the serving ENB to the target ENB during handover. So these are all the functions of the user plane. Okay. Then there will be timer based discarding of the SDUs in the uplink. Okay. As I said, SDUs are what? Serving data units. Okay. So there will be timer, means how much time one particular SDU can wait for processing that. If it exceeds, then that will be discarded. If there is an error and other things. Okay. So to continue with that, the control plane, I think in the previous I said about the user plane. No? Similar to that, the control plane functions are what? Ciphering and deciphering of the control plane data, right? Similar to that, what is it? Then integrity protection and integrity verification of control plane data, right? Then transfer of control plane data. So these are the things done in the control plane. Now let us have what I said is PDCP, that is the packet data control protocol, right? Packet divergence control protocol. PDUs can be divided into two categories. PDCP PDUs are divided into two categories. So one is PDCP data PDU, and another one is PDCP control PDU. Okay, one is for data, another is for control. So this PDCP data PDU is used in both the control and user plane to transport higher layer packets. Okay, means this PDU gives the services to the higher layers, right, from lower to higher layers. And it is also used to convey either user plane data containing this compressed or uncompressed IP packet, or the control plane data containing one RRC message, okay, and as well as the message authentication code for integrity. We call that as MAC field, okay, for integrity protection. So that is done by this PDCP data PDU. And as I said, no, it is joined to two things, right? One is PDCP data PDU, another one is PDCP control PDU. So this PDCP control PDU is used within the user plane to convey the PDCP status. Okay, it will report during the handover and also feedback information for header compression. And it's a PDCP control PDU will not carry any higher layer SDU but PDCP data PDU will carry that, right? But PDCP control PDU will not carry any higher layer SDO, but rather it will be used for peer-to-peer signaling between the PDCP entities at two ends. Yes, sir. PDCP control PDO is used for peer-to-peer signaling, right, between the PDCP entities at two ends. So PDCP data PDO formats for the user plane and the control plane. So what is the PDCP data PDO format? Right. So PDCP means what I said, packet data convergence protocol. Right. In that there are two. This one, right? One is PDCP data PDO. Another one is PDCP control PDO. I said what is the function of PDCP data PDO, and as well as what is the function of, means what it conveys, the PDCP control PDO. Let us see their formats. So user plane PDCP data PDO, the control plane PDCP data PDO, the initial data. Then see there is a field called D/C. Then PDCP sequence number. Means first it undergoes sequencing, right? Then ciphering data. Similarly, this also. So PDCP sequence number, cipher data, and then MAC-I, right? That is for the control plane PDCP. This one. So let us take this PDCP data unit. Means this table, sorry, will tell you what is the sequence number length, okay, for each of the thing, and what is the applicable RLC mode. I said the RLC, that is radio link control, it has different modes, okay, the AM, UM, and other things. I will come back to that later on, okay. Just have a look. So this user plane PDCP data PDO means for having a long sequence number, which is of 12 bits. Sequence number length is 12 bits. Okay, user plane PDCP data PDO having short SN, it is 7 bits. Okay, for control plane PDCP data PDO, it is only 5 bits. And for other things like PDCP control PDO for a robust header compression feedback, for that, this SN length is not applicable. Okay, and similarly for PDCP control PDO for PDCP status report is also SN length is not applicable. Okay. But the RLC mode is AM for this. So any questions to be asked, we can ask related to these things. I hope yeah, this picture is very, very important picture which you are supposed to grasp in your mind. Okay, with this, keeping this only, we'll be able to talk more than 1 hour about all these functioning. Okay, is this picture is clear? Or else go back. Okay, I think before that, okay. Yeah, this is there in your prescribed textbook, and this is there from other textbook I taken for better clarity. Okay, this is also the reference book. Okay. Nothing wrong in reading, understanding in a to get better clarity. Okay. Okay. And, I think this is also done. Okay. Yeah, I was here, right? Okay, there are 3 different types of PDCP data PDOs. Okay, that will be distinguished by, means differentiated based on the length of the sequence number. Right? I think in the previous table I have shown what is that. Yeah, for long sequence, right? 12 bits, 7 bits, and 5 bits. Similar to that. So there is a PDCP sequence number is used to provide robustness against packet loss. Okay, I think the first step, what is a sequence number, right? So this PDCP SN is used to provide what? Robustness against the packet loss and to guarantee sequential delivery at the receiver. Fine. So for that PDCP sequence number is used. Like it is a labeling of a packet. Right? So PDCP data PDO with the long sequence number is used for the unacknowledged mode. I said, I think in the previous table I wrote UM, AM and other things, right? So this is a PDCP data PDO with a long sequence number is used for the unacknowledged mode and acknowledged mode. Let's see what is this unacknowledged mode and acknowledged mode. The PDCP data PDO with the short sequence number is used for the transparent mode, that we say TM. So three things here: UM, AM, TM. See, UM and AM. Okay, the long SN is used. PDCP data PDO with long SN is used for UM and AM. These are the acknowledgement modes, and this PDCP data PDO with short SN is used for the transparent mode. Okay, the SN field and the cipher data. The PDCP data PDO for the user plane contains the D bar C field, right? That is used to distinguish data and control PDOs. The D for data, C for control. I think that format I have shown, right? So then this field is required because the PDCP data PDO can carry both the user plane and as well as the control plane data. To differentiate whether it is for data or control, that field is there. Okay. So this is a PDCP data PDO for the control plane comprises MAC-I field, right, which is of 32-bit long for the integrity protection. For property integrity, that has 32 bits. Okay. So let me take about the header compression. What type of header compression is used in this? I said, anyone can say. I used one word. What type of header compression is applied in the LTE? Anybody can say? Yes.
M31.
Huh?
M31.
I didn't get you. Not.
Those M sequences, M31.
Not M sequence. Header, that is M sequence is for what? That is for secondary synchronization signal, no? That is not for sequencing. Sequence numbering. I said about compression, header compression. I think I told about this, right? Robust header compression. Right? Robust header compression is the protocol used for compression and decompression in the PDCP.
Okay.
Okay, fine. I think I was here, right? Header compression. See, header compression protocol in LTE is based on robust header compression framework, which is defined by the Internet Engineering Task Force. Again, we are not going to discuss about this in detail because it is too depth. Just to know the name. Okay, what type of header compression protocol in LTE is based on what, right? It is a robust header compression framework, which is defined by the Internet Engineering Task Force. So the PDCP entities are configured by the upper layers to use header compression which is only performed on the user plane data. So when I shown the picture, you might have seen only for the user plane data, this header compression is done, and it is not done for the control plane data, right? What are the requirements of this header compression, right? So the requirement for the header compression comes from the fact that so all the services in LTE are what IP based, right? That is Internet Protocol based, and are based on the framework of the IP and other related IETF protocols. So IETF means that is Internet Engineering Task Force protocols. So they have certain protocols. Based on that, it is there. So because of that, they have included the header compression. So these protocols bring the significant amount of header overhead at the network layer as well as transport layer, okay, and the application layer, because it contains a lot of redundant and repetitive information which is unnecessarily consumes the precious radio resource, but it is required, so we can't help. So therefore, an efficient header compression scheme is required, especially for this voice over internet protocol VoIP services, where IP related repetitive information in the header field is large relative to the actual speech packets. Okay, when because that packet has to pass through so many layers, if each layer, okay, keeps adding the header, then the length of the header only becomes more compared to the data, right? Means the speech packet. And so for that, that compression is used. So there are multiple header compression algorithms. We call those header compression algorithms or profiles, okay, which are defined for the robust header compression framework. ROSC means that robust header compression framework. And as I said, that header compression algorithms are called what? Profiles, right? Each profile is specific to the particular layer. Okay, particular layer means it is specific for some network layer, transport layer, and as well as upper layer protocol combination. Just I said what are the different layers, means TCP, IP, or UDP, right? Other things. Okay. Yeah. So this is all about header compression. Okay, not much about the technical stuff of that header compression I discussed really. It is about just introduced by whom and why it is required. What is the necessity of that in this LTE, right? The same way, integrity and safety. So this is for what control plane data, right? Isn't it? So it is related to the security. Right? The security related functions in the PDCP includes what integrity, protection, and ciphering. Then this PDCP PDU counter, we name it. Okay. We call that as a count. Okay. That will be maintained and used as an input to the security algorithm. Okay. For this ciphering, for doing this integrity protection, the name of the counter is a count. That will be an input to the security algorithm. Okay. And the format of that count, I think shown in figure. So, and it has a length of 32 bits, and it consists of two parts. Okay. That one is hyperframe number, and another one is PDCP SN. Okay. I think this is the diagram what I wanted to say. That is, this is the hyperframe number, and this one is the PDCP SN sequence number, PDCP sequence number. So this is the format of that count. So which is of how many bits? 32 bits. So this is the format of the count. So the sequence number is used for reordering and duplicate detection of the RLC packets at the receiver end. Okay. So the integrity protection. So I'm talking about integrity and ciphering, right? This integrity protection function includes both integrity protection and as well as integrity verification, and is performed only for the control plane data, not for the user plane data. So data unit that is integrity protected is the PDO header and the data part of the PDO before ciphering. So integrity protection is provided by the field MAC-I, which is of 32-bit length. Right. So at the transmission, the value of the MAC-I field is calculated based on the keys provided by RRC, that is a radio resource connection. Then the radio bearer identifier, the count value, and the direction of the transmission, whether it is unidirectional or bidirectional. At the receiver side, means the receiver will compute the expected message authentication code on the received message using the same parameters and algorithms used by the sender. Just now I told about the sender side, this is about the receiver side. Same things are used. Okay, if that does not match the MAC-I field, then the PDCP PDO will not pass the integrity check. Okay, and the PDCP PDO will be discarded. This is done at the receiver side. So the ciphering function includes both the ciphering and as well as deciphering. So ciphering is done in the transmitter side, deciphering is done in the receiver side. Okay. So the ciphering is done both on control plane data and as well as user plane data. But integrity protection is done only on the control plane data. Okay. So for the control plane, the data unit that is ciphered is the data part of the PDCP, PDO, and the MAC-I field. Okay. So for user plane, the data unit that is ciphered is the data part of the PDCP, PDO. So neither integrity nor ciphering is applicable to PDCP control PDUs. Okay. So ciphering function is activated by upper layers, which also configures the ciphering algorithm and the ciphering key to be used. So I think maybe you have studied network security, no? I think in the last semester, right? So you may be able to correlate what concepts you have studied there about this ciphering, right? So ciphering is done by this XOR operation, okay, of the data unit with the ciphering stream. I hope you remembered any of the operations of ciphering, what you have studied in your network security. Is it possible to mention some of the things? Anyone? No idea? Or already forgotten?
Hill cipher also.
Yeah, many things you have studied, no? In 7th sem, I think network cyber security, right? That's it. So, okay, of course, we are not. So, you are aware XOR operation is done, right? That ciphering is done by the XOR operation of the data unit with the ciphering stream. Okay. How do we generate a ciphering stream? That is generated by using ciphering algorithm. Okay, so what are the algorithms? That is based on ciphering keys, then radio bearer identity, right? Then the value of the count, right? Then as well as the direction of the transmission and the length of the key stream. So based on these 5 things, right? Ciphering keys, radio bearer identity, then value of count, direction of the transmission, and length of the key stream, right? Ciphering stream will be generated. Okay, so there are different algorithms, ciphering algorithms for generating the ciphering stream that is exerted with the what? Data unit, right? To do the ciphering. So that is all about ciphering and integrity. So, have any questions to ask before this? Before I start about MAC or RLC layer. So till this integrity and ciphering is done. If you have any questions to ask, you can ask. But what I'm saying here, I'm not going with any of the examples, but taking how ciphering is actually done by taking data unit data and ciphering stream, right? So such example operation, all you discussed, I think, studied in your 7th semester cyber security. Here you are discussing what is used and how it is done. That's all. Okay, what means what are the inputs to that algorithm for generating the ciphering stream. So if it is okay with this, then I will go next. Otherwise, let me stop with this. What I feel instead of saying keep continuing with this. I will take the MAC layer in the next class. So I hope you all will not forget this diagram. This is a very important diagram which you are supposed to grasp and understand. Keeping this, you will be able to write all those what are the explanation I have done so far. Okay, I told about ciphering, deciphering, error compression, integrity protection, right? And what is this PDCP formats, right? PDCP data PDU, PDCP control PDU, like that, isn't it? So keeping this slide, only I would have talked all those things without running those slides. So please have a grasp of this. Try to recall from your this one. Okay, what are the different steps involved in the transmitting side and as well as the receiving side of this PDCP data. Yes, no questions to ask. Okay, of course, I'm not quoting any of the examples, general examples. Let me see in what way I can quote relates with some general understanding. Otherwise, it may be boring just if I keep telling about it does sequencing, error compression, ciphering, right? That let me find out one example which will convey all these concepts in sequence. Or will you be able to find out from your side? Any one of the student can take that initiative. So many stories are available for saying about this. So anybody tried to understand these things in the previous? I don't know. Okay. Yes. To code these operations, you can go with taking one example, real life example. Anybody is interested to say? When you can take 5 minutes to code from your side, you can share the slide also. Let us do some active learning. Otherwise, it becomes passive. What I feel, I keep talking and. So those who are good with your project and other work completed can take up this job now as part of and let me demonstrate that LTE bulletin software also. Okay, in some time. So then no questions to ask. So let me wind up for today's class then. Okay, then okay, fine. You all can write your question in chat box. Let me stop with this. Okay. ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನ.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಸರ್
Okay, I think for today's, I think it is enough. Let me come out with some example, make it interest. Adding, quoting some examples. Okay, fine then.